Hey guys, Dustin coming to you from the UMI Race Shop today. And on our 78 Cutlass project, we're going to be working on Wilwood front brakes and some steering components. So we're going to get the steering shaft and the power steering pump out of the way because we know we're going to be replacing some of those components, along with the front links, the tie rod ends, all the steering components are going to come off the car.
Here we're disassembling the factory steering components, pulling off the idler arm, as well as the center link and all the factory tie rods. Pretty clapped out stuff from 78, so to the junk pile.
Here we're drilling the spindle for Wilwood brakes. So Wilwood brakes brackets bolt onto the dust shield holes. So those holes are a little too small to start with, so we drill them out and re-tap them to fit a larger bolt. That way the bracket can be attached more substantially.
Here we're using a handy dandy grease packing tool. Makes packing bearings very simple. If you're going to be doing this on a regular, definitely pick this tool up. So we're going to pack these Wilwood bearings and get everything sealed up and ready to put back on the car. And all these components work together really well. Just simple bolt up. Everything works together with that spindle for this Wilwood kit that we're going to be running.
When we're fitting our new hubs to our new spindles, we just want to make sure everything's clean, get everything centered on there just right, and it should pop right on. After we get all of our bearings in, our seals on, we got to tighten the castle nut to make sure the hub doesn't come off. And to do that, we just apply a little bit of pressure, make sure we can spin it nice. Don't forget to line that cotter pin up so that castle nut doesn't back off. Now that we've got our hubs on, our new spindles on, we're going to start putting some of the new steering components back in. We start out with our idler arm, get it attached to the frame, then just build everything back together from there. Get our center link installed, make sure we get it on the idler arm first.
You're going to make sure everything has clearance the way it should and nothing binds or touches anywhere. And install all your Zerx fittings.
So instead of going with the traditional tie rod end, we're going to go with our UMI 3060 bump steer kit, and that'll help later on with the angles and the trigonometry of the A-arms as we're driving down the road.
So bump steer is toe change during wheel travel, and our kits help eliminate that problem. They feature a 6061 T6 hex sleeve here that replaces the stamp sleeve and the outer tie rod end on your vehicle, and it features a heat-treated 4140 chromoly bump steer stud. So the stud here fits your factory steering arm, and then the spacers change the angle of the tie rod, which reduces or eliminates bump steer. We also have a race version that features a heavy-duty 5/8 bolt. We recommend the race version for road race and autocross applications, whereas the stud is great for street and strip applications. With the 5/8 bolt version, you actually need to drill the steering arm, so keep that in mind when purchasing the product.
We are measuring the factory tie rod ends and transferring those measurements over to our newly installed tie rod ends and bump steer kit. That way we could set it up in the ballpark to make our alignment a little easier, so we're close to start.
Don't be afraid to throw a little anti-seize on some of this stuff. Now we know it's not going to be aligned right away, so whenever we go to align it, everything should still be loose and free. Make it a lot easier down the road. After we get all the front components installed, got to go back through, make sure everything's tight, make sure we get all of our cotter pins so none of these nuts come off when you're driving down the road for safety.
We're using some brake clean to clean off the gunk that is on the brake rotors from the packing material, and we're going to use our front brake conversion brackets to install the much larger diameter rotor and brake calipers.
So even though the car is going to be getting an infusion of horsepower, it also needs to be able to stop well. Today we're featuring part number 3046, 78 to 88 G-Body caliper brackets to attach C5 Corvette or SLC 56 Wilwood calipers to that car. You can upgrade your braking system, get better front brakes, and fit it right on there with the UMI 3046. The kit includes all the necessary hardware. We also have a kit called 3047, which features a Wilwood hub that fits the C5 brake rotor, and it also includes Made in USA Timken bearings. The kit combined is called 304647. It allows easy attachment of the C5 caliper or the SLC 56 Wilwood caliper to your GM G-Body.
All the factory lines were a little boogered up and pretty ugly, so we opted to just make some fresh lines rather than buy anything store-bought. So just used a hunk of aluminum and made our own coils. As you can see, just simple flaring tool. Whenever you are flaring your lines, make sure you put your fitting on first before you put it into your flaring tool. Otherwise, you're gonna be doing it a second time when you don't have a fitting on there. Ask me how I know. And we're installing these fresh coil lines up on the master cylinder provided by Wilwood. Dustin works at a very fast pace, usually with a hammer, but as you can see, this takes a little precision and finesse. Take your time here. You don't want to kink any tubing that you just spent a bunch of time getting into the right shape.
Forge line wheels going on. The wheel is actually what holds the rotor on. So once you tighten the wheel down, the rotor's clamped on there. The caliper is clamped a little bit earlier, so we should be ready for a test drive here pretty soon.
Thanks for checking out this episode of our 1978 Cutlass build. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're putting out new build videos every month. And also check out UMIPerformance.com for all your performance suspension needs.